Anti-Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are checking out some more Spy Family and getting very close to the end of this part of the series. Now, I know that this show doesn't necessarily do anything big, grand, as like this epic end to the parts as Shonen and stuff does, but I do feel like we're going to be getting into some interesting topics because we've started to slowly address some of the issues with this whole setup of having a spy and an assassin pretending to be normal people and married with a child that can also read people's minds. Like, there's a little bit of tension to that, right? So addressing some of the issues that are going to come up with this whole ruse, especially now that they've become more attached to each other. And we've had Lloyd kind of falling more into seeing them as his actual family, and that causing a little bit of a crisis for him. But we've just kind of like hinted at it. I feel like we're going to come back to that probably in the next part or a part from now, whatever they end up getting to his particular part of this, that back and forth that like Yor had. But it also looks like for this preview, we're going to see Fiona again, which is interesting, and a very confused Lloyd in the process, which fair enough. She does tend to be a little bit much, especially in her affections for Lloyd. So we'll see what kind of madness happens, especially since she tends to question or challenge this relationship between him and Yor and trying to prove herself the better woman, which, I mean, we all know who the best woman is between the two of them. So it'll be interesting to see the comedic beats of that, but I think also how Lloyd reacts to that, because I think he knows that Yor is more important to him now than the last time we saw Fiona. So it should be interesting, but let's get into the episode. In 3, 2, 1, go. Starting with the opener again. I feel like we're gonna do a half and half story again. Like, I remember in the preview, we had like Anya's friend for part of it, so we might start with her story and then switch into the spy madness. I am like a little bit relieved though to get some more comedic beats after the seriousness of the Yor-centric storyline, especially near the end, where they really shifted a lot into more action-oriented stuff, especially since like even like Lloyd and Anya were like part of dealing with that issue on the boat. So it wasn't like they were off doing their own like comedic thing while Yor was being a bodyguard. I also noticed that I probably haven't been paying a lot of attention to this opener like the whole time, since probably the first time I saw it, because there's a bunch of details that in the last couple of episodes I'm like, huh. I just gotta let it play. I'm like, oh, I've seen this, and then I'll notice little things in the animation. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Has it always been that way? Watching a drama. She would like dramas, like soap opera kind of romance stories. Did she just have a picture of the Forger family? We were right over. That's what I was thinking. It is a little bit. I mean, I kind of get it though, like her having a crush on an adult in her life. I love the filters, so like her perspective. I love that Anya can't read her thoughts properly. She's like, what is this? You have, yeah. So maybe the stores will be more connected than I thought. It's all about people having a crush on Lloyd. I like how confused he is by it. Like, oblivious. Yeah, like, he's like clocked in on that. I feel like that's a backstory we should get to at some point. But then, like, people having a crush on him, over his head. The rich versus the normal. This is weird. I don't like it. I want it to stop. All the annoying stuff. Anya's like, it's a good point. Yeah, like he's like, because I needed to for my job. Yep. He's always in work mode. We're gonna have to break through that at some point. And he's like, okay, I want to know exactly where this location is so that next time you go, I can conveniently be there. Mm. Always in work mode. The contrast between their two faces. She is wild. The final boss. I like the grand introduction of the dog. That would be me too. Oh, you have to behold. Behold the boy. Yeah, I was gonna say you're a little bit late. I think they're just like, I don't know, kid things. She's gonna spill that tea, isn't she? I was gonna say you said that aloud. The spit take. Yo, it's just like they're just having a fun game. She has no idea, honestly. She's always like, I just need to prove that I'm the best at being like a wife and a mom. Like, he's just like, what is happening? Oh, she's having a full crisis. I mean, she's probably more nauseous about you carrying her through the city at this high speed. Girl, be careful. She's still gonna catch Becky. Oh my gosh, she literally has a nosebleed. Yeah, if anyone should go to the emergency room. The way everyone's just like, what just happened? We established in the last episode that lying is bad. She does. Honestly, she's too good for us. Oh, no, you're not. True. You're chosen. She's gonna take that literally. I don't know, that's not a bad reason to be a couple. It's like having the same like goals. Hey, he caught up. Oh, Yor would clean up at that game. He's like rich people. Yes, that's the reason, Lloyd. It's the wealth. I like how this to like Lloyd and Yor is just like kids being kids. And as someone who has spent a bunch of time around kids, you do. You're just like, sure. Just accept the badness. Are we gonna help? Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like one-handed, not even gonna be difficult. So that's why we looked so confused. We're not gonna connect any. Yes, that makes more sense. Yes. His eyes are because of love and not because of confusion. Aww. Be careful, Anya tried that. I think that's good for Yor though, to be like someone saying like, "Oh, I want to be like you." Why is there someone spying around the corner? So we're gonna be focusing on Nightfall. She's got something to prove. Not even Twilight. What is this important mission? It's a lot of paperwork. Stresses me out. Ooh, I don't like that. That's a rickety looking building. Yes, clearly his work is very important. I love that line of the shots though. I love the comparison between the two shots, like him on vacation and then her going through the mission. Oof. I don't know. Yoda's gotten some more points. She's having a full dramatic moment in the street. I love someone like looking at her like, what? The bear is the weight. Oh, she looks so tired. Did he get her a souvenir? I see the bag. I like how they put in this internal monologue and they're like, no, not really. Yep, he got her a gift. It's not what you think. She's super excited. She's just trying to contain herself and be professional. I'm waiting for the moment where it all explodes. It's honestly more tame than I thought it would be. Like she's back to being serious and professional. And then back to skipping. Is it one of those keychains again? Like one of those skeleton keychains? I feel like she might like that, honestly. uh, I like how that was. I mean, obviously, there was like the theme of people having a crush on Lloyd and him being completely oblivious to that being the reason that they're behaving the way that they are around him. But I think there was also the connection of like apprenticeship and admiring both Lloyd and Yor and like who they are as people and how they like influence people around them. Not just like Anya, who we saw while they were on the cruise, like wanting to be helpful and definitely mimics some of the things that she's learned from her parents by reading their thoughts and also seeing them going with their secret lives. But then also having like Becky saying like, oh, I want to be like Yor. And I think that that says a lot about Yor's growth, but I think it's also a great like boost to her confidence. And then having Fiona want to be like Lloyd, to prove something, because she admires him so much. And I don't think he quite grasps that side of it. But he is like a great influence on the people around him. And I don't think he doesn't do it with like the intention of being like, let me be this great influencer teacher, which I think says a lot about just who he genuinely is. Oh, she's gonna be the next episode too. Ooh, geez, okay. We just have a fire happening. So I guess we just have like a building fire in the next episode. Not really sure what that's about. But yeah, I think that this episode did a really good job of showing the growth that Yor and Lloyd have had and like how they are such a good influence on the people around them and how they're just genuinely great people. Yor being so nice to Becky just because she genuinely cares about her well-being and like wants to make sure that she's okay. And even though she completely misread basically everything in the situation, her just wanting to ensure that people around her are safe and cared for, like that is one of the biggest things about Yor's personality and how she interacts with people, is that she just wants to make sure everyone is safe and taken care of, which is why she is the assassin that she is. She wants to sacrifice her own peace so that other people can have that peace. And Lloyd, not really like a people person, but he does like just have this very genuine personality. We saw that all the way back at the beginning of the series where he'll just say stuff that makes people feel better. And he's like not trying to do it. Like he's not saying it because he does have like this kind of anxiety panic mode of like, oh no, this person's upset. But he's not doing it because he's like trying to be like, let me say something that makes me sound like really smart or philosophical or whatever. He's just genuinely sharing his thoughts and observations, and it just connects with people so much. It just makes him so sweet. And I don't think he fully understands what a nice and genuine and caring person he is, because he doesn't really think about his relationships to other people unless it's because of a mission, right? Like it has to be connected to the job, and he's always in that work mode. And I'm really curious to see when we're going to see a moment where he actually like breaks that for a significant amount of time. Like we've had like little moments where you can see him slip out of that mindset for like a couple of seconds, but he'll immediately be back and he chastises himself for like getting lost in his own thoughts. But I'm really excited at the prospect of seeing him like actually break those barriers. Like even on vacation when they're on the cruise, right? He was like, oh, it's my mission to be seen as like a normal dad. So that's why I have to like do vacation properly. That was his mindset, as opposed to actually having a vacation and just spending time with Anya and relaxing. Like he doesn't know how to do that. And I really want to see a moment where he fully forgets about the mission, forgets about his job, forgets about being Twilight the spy. And I want it to be this unintentional thing where he just like, he comes to after like an afternoon and he's like, oh wait, I wasn't thinking at all during that time that I needed to be in mission mode. And I'm sure that'll send him into like a crisis, but I want to see the growth there of him having more in his life that matters to him than just being the mission, and getting lost in the genuine relationships he has with people, as opposed to how do I gain from this, right? Like interrogating people about their life. He comes off as seeming like he cares about them as people, but what he actually wants is to like collect that intel in case it's important later on. And every time he meets someone new, he's like clocking information about them. So I really want to see him just enjoy being around people and like turn off his brain for a bit, because as someone who has anxiety, and I can see the parallels between my experience and Lloyd's, I think he needs some time to just turn his brain off. Honestly, it's exhausting being in an anxious mind all the time, and you just need like even just like a few minutes where it's not constantly going, you know? So I don't know how much we'll get to see of that. It looks like we're going to be bringing in a lot of characters from the whole series in the next episode, and probably dealing with a lot of different things all at once as we end off this part. But I'm excited to see where the series is gonna go. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to miss next time I post a Spy Family reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.